Hey everybody, it's Shelley at RX Empathy, and once a week I take the opportunity to share with you how I use empathy to make my messy and wonderful life even better. Last week I talked about using your feelings um, as an important tool to, deal with life and to actually experience your feelings instead of numbing them. So, on that note, we're now on to what to do with those feelings, and that is uncover what your real needs are. After I explain to you how I'm going to have you identify your needs and meet them successfully, which, believe it or not, most of us don't do, you're going to see through my example. I'm going to share with you my messy, crazy situation about Christmas, and you'll get a feeling of how meeting your needs successfully is so much better than numbing them. So one thing I want to point out is when you any bad habits that you have, like I don't know, overspending, overeating, over drinking, whatever they often are an attempt, an unsuccessful attempt at meeting unmet needs. So whenever I realize that I've got a bad habit happening, an example would be when I used to live in the U.S. and I was there most evenings. I was there alone after I put the kids to bed, and I remember just like snacking the entire evening. Like I thought I was starving, and I wasn't. And after a while, I realized, wow, you know what? I'm not hungry. I'm actually lonely. I'm yearning for connection. And so there was an example of me using food to meet the need for connection. And clearly, you know, eating another cookie is not going to make me feel like I'm connected to anything other than feeling badly for eating, half the cookies I made. Anyway, so I just want to point out to you that oftentimes bad habits are really an unsuccessful attempt to meet your needs. So I'm going to talk to you about successfully meeting your needs. 3 simple steps that you need to take. The first one is use a trigger or a challenge in your life to bring up those feelings I talked about last week. And after you feel your feelings, grab your needs deck, the deck of cards, there are 50, and go through them while you're still sort of feeling uncomfortable. And trust me, your instincts will guide you to what you really need. You'll see the card and the word written down, and you go, oh my God, yeah, that's it. I'm going to give you the example of my own life in a minute, and you'll get to see what I mean by that. So you're going to feel your feelings, discover your needs. You're going to list your needs after you discover them, and then you're going to write down under each need you identify. And I suggest you narrow your needs down to the 1 to 3 strongest needs that you have. You're going to write down successful ways that you can meet them. And again, I'm going to give you an example of my own life so you get an idea. Okay, so here's my example. I love Christmas, and it's almost here, and I am now in the throes again of buying my kids Christmas gifts. And every year I get pretty anxious and overwhelmed. Those are the 2 feelings that came out for me when I got my deck out, because it's really a very important time of year. First of all, I love it. I love Christmas music, building a fire, the whole thing, buying gifts. I love it all. And it's a time when the kids and I all get together again as a family, and we usually spend about a week together, and it's really precious to me. So I have these uncomfortable feelings of anxiety and overwhelm about gift giving with my kids. And every year I think, oh, I'll just go back to the mall one more time, because I'm sure once I just get that funny pair of socks, I'm going to feel better. And of course, that's not what's going to make me feel better. So this year I decided, hey, why don't I use my feelings, pull out the needs deck, and discover what I really need. And guess what? My 3 needs that came out were for connection, integrity, and celebration. These 3 needs right here. Let me turn them over so you can see them. Yeah. Well, I mean, and they were so clear to me and so strong. It was exactly what I wanted. So I thought, okay, so I wrote them down, and then I decided, how can I successfully meet each one of them? So the first one I'll talk about is connection. That's the strongest, probably. So for connection, to successfully meet my need for connection, and everyone's an individual, you're going to decide what's the best way for you to meet your need for connection. But when I really thought about it, I thought, I want to really show the kids that I've been paying attention. My kids and I are really close, and we talk about struggles and we talk about successes a lot. And I want to just make sure whatever gift, I'll buy them the usual things, but one gift I want to just let them know that I've been paying attention. Maybe paying attention to a struggle they've had or a new hobby that they're exploring. And so I'm excited to do that. I've done some thinking about it already for all three of them. And I want to do that. I want to show them through just some small gesture that I've been listening and I've been paying attention. The other thing that I want to do is I want to do something that the kids and I have done in the past. I want to write each one of them like a little love letter. We've done this to each other before. In fact, my older son did a really creative effort one year where he used photography to where he wrote his letter to each of us. And they're really short, but they include things like, how inspired you are by the person you're writing it to, how they're inspiring you, how proud you are of them, how what you see, how you see them as an individual and how you feel about them. And it's a really meaningful thing to have. I, of course, still have all of them that we've written over the years, and they're really special to read. I keep them in my desk and sometimes pull them out if I'm having a bit of a day and read them over. So that I'm definitely going to do that as well to successfully meet my need for connection. That extra pair of funny socks wasn't going to do it. So the next need I want to talk to you about is integrity. And that may sound a bit strange, but when I'm gift giving, I'm really aware that I want to line my actions, my gift giving up with my principles and values. And one of the things that have really come forward for me recently, especially since I did this big home reno, is I want to really simplify my life. I don't want a lot of junk. I don't want a lot of extra stuff. And I want to experience life more than buy things. I want to value my relationships and my experiences more than things. So I thought, why don't I reflect that in the gifts I give? I could give theater tickets, concert tickets, or the one I'm really kind of excited about is my IOU coupon that I'm going to give my loved ones to say, I will cook you dinner. You just call me up, say I need dinner in 2 days or on whatever day you need it, and I'll deliver it to you. As most of you probably know, my other passion, besides empathy and mental health, is vegan cooking. I am a vegan cook, and actually when my website gets up and running, which is soon, one half will be RX Vegan and one half will be RX Empathy, so you can visit both sides. So I'm excited. I think about making food for people as an act of love, and so I'm going to give these IOU coupons out. I'm excited about it. And so that's a much more successful way to meet my need for integrity than heading back to the mall. Now, the final celebration need that came out, that one I thought about, and I think for me it's about traditions. And the boys and I have lots of really neat traditions that we do at every holiday, and they sort of anchor us in sort of that loving connection. Oh yeah, we're gonna do the opening of the Christmas Eve gift, and I try to make sure everybody gets a funny Christmas Eve gift, and maybe there's a game in there that we play, and so that's been kind of fun over the years. But I think I'm going to talk to them this year as well about creating maybe a new tradition. Maybe we'll start something new that we want to add. So I think traditions will really meet my need for celebration. So needless to say, uncovering your needs and successfully meeting them is literally a game changer in terms of your quality of life. I can attest to that for sure. I already feel so much better about gift giving. In fact, I'm like, instead of anxious and overwhelmed, I'm feeling like so excited and so clear about how I want to do it. So I invite you to do the same. Use some kind of a challenge that you have and do the very same process that I just suggested. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, you have feelings, you have needs, and you matter. So grab yourself a great day, and I hope to see you soon.